Right now we are under a large landmass in the ocean. As you can see, it's littered with stalactites covered by Grue cluster. I don't know the properties of Grue cluster, all I know that's what it's called. So cool. Now this is, of course, no normal island. I'm gonna be under, I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious how weird that is. It's because it is a floating mass suspended by these giant things called ancient floaters. I don't know a lot about them, all I know is that they're big and they're ancient. Hang on. There we go. Anywho, here's some just ancient remains filled with plants. Now, as I was saying, yes. This is a floating island. It's mainly populated by these weirdo unnamed trees that glow for some reason, and bulbo trees, I think. Bulbo trees have very high liquidus and water content and are safe to eat for humans, however, apparently they can kill things such as insects. So, here's a fun fact for you. Let's keep going with the floor by explaining the Ming plant. These weird vase-shaped plants have protective shells, which is the vase part, that can keep it safe from things that will eat it. These Jaffa cups are large mushrooms that are something about them I can't remember. Large mushrooms, and I think they look awesome, so yeah. If I could find some other plants. Of course, the grub basket. It looks similar to the Jaffa cup, but it's not. If I'm correct, it is theorized to be a carnivorous plant, but it does not have proof. You see that awesome flip? Dude, that was a freaking awesome flip, man. This is the voxel shrub. It's a cool thing that makes these cool pink flowers. Oh yeah. There is only one species other than sky rays that inhabit this island. But where are the sky rays? I hear sky ray. There no sky rays? Yeah, here. Brilliant. This is brilliant. I don't know why they only have one bird. I feel like this game could use more birds out. Anyways. If I could find an example of the species, that would be great. Yes, I hear them. But of course. Yes. Only cave crawlers, aka the worst thing in this entire game, inhabit this island on land. Or on foot, or appendage, or leg, whatever. They don't really even seem to eat anything. All they do is just prance around and then bite you when you try to come near them. I do not like them at all. They're really the only thing in this game, of course, it's blood crawlers that actually freak me out. Like, actually. Like, genuinely. Like, just out of all the things, really. Honestly, it's one reason why I didn't do the whole Underwater Islands in my last documentary. Quite frankly, I am embarrassed by that, but true. It's all true. So, ignore how those things can just exist like that. This is the lantern tree. It grows lantern fruit. See, these are actually vines that root and cluster together with one another to stay stable and upright, and they grow this fancy schmancy fruit that, while it doesn't provide the most amount of excuse me, food or water content, they can be used in an emergency situation. These are pink caps. They're small mushrooms. I think they're called pink caps. I'm pretty sure they're called pink caps. This is a small cave. There's lots of weird small caves on this island, but I think it adds character. Yeah, you know, you really think you explore this whole island until you realize that you haven't, just because it's that huge. Although there is no metal on this island, like none. No actual worth it resources other than occasional fragments from ancient debris. Not that kind of ancient, you know what I mean. And then just food content. And of course these are another type of fungus that I cannot remember the name of, however they make a rattling noise when shaken. This is theorized to either scare away predators who would eat it, or actually attract them to spread spores. Not spores in like Last of Us spores, just like, you know how pollen works, it can carry on animals, stuff like that. Here is a small, how do I describe it, little natural made pool that is formed. And if I'm correct, there is something very interesting that we can find through a small duct right here. If we go down to this large cavern, we can find alien ruin. Incredible. You'd already find the mountain island before this, and you were supposed to, you know, put an ion cube in there, you know, create the portal that goes to here, but yeah, it's very neat. There's multiple entrances to this cave. That one is pretty much only reachable by flight, like I'm doing. If we can just casually, you know, just go through that, you can meet some other stuff from earlier. These are Chinese potatoes. Apparently they're not from here and they grow in China. I was about to say something like political, but I'm just not gonna. These are marble melons. Instead of taking water mostly by their roots, they take it mostly from the air, which I think gives high water content. So, you know, if you're in a jab, you should probably get some. Now then, this island is definitely a spectacle, although for its size, there's not much worth seeing. It's mostly just stuff that can't really help you, like these weird unnamed trees. And then, of course, the occasional fragments you can find. However, there is one very, very interesting specimen that's not here. Definitely not here. And no other fact how that's just there. Of course, that is a small grow bed. It's over here. Here. Wait, it was actually in there? Are you kidding me? Well, where is it? Here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The whole cinematography of this thing. I just feel like a fool at this point. Oh my goodness. Like, holy crap. Wow. As you can see here, there's a very, very small plant. If I'm correct, this is, other than, you know, this copy, the only 2 instances on the entire planet of it. They're known as firm palms. They seem to only have grown in this single grow bed. But, like, you just can't find them really anywhere else. Very unique, probably inedible, but very unique. If you really want to just find something unique, come to this specific grow bed and this specific rendezvous point. Right here. So, yeah. This is there to make a scrutiny of. I could have sworn there were a lot more cave crawlers last time I was here. Which is, you know, it's just so weird to know. I'm just going to know that why are the cave crawlers in a place that's nice and sunny? I mean, come on, they're called cave crawlers. Oh, so they have several conveniently placed beaches. I guess just to invite people. Yeah. I heard them. I think I was here before them. Yeah, I just don't like these things. But, I mean, come on, look at them. Why? Like, why? I just find them unappealing, really. Again, I could tolerate them if it wasn't for their little jumps. I don't like their little jumps. Now, here's an interesting thing. Why is it dirt here, but nowhere else, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things to take out of this island, even if it's not the most, like, cool place to be. I know that looks really weird from afar, but that's just because it's a video game, okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault I have a bad PC, okay? I'm trying, really. I really am. You know, it doesn't take a lot of effort to make these, but, you know, I try to put heart and soul into them, okay? And if you're just not gonna respect that, then I don't really know what to tell you, okay? I just don't. Alright? Really. No, seeing all their unique architecture. Oh, so if you're wondering what this is directly above the Grand Reef, which, you know, maybe I'll make a documentary about if you happen to, you know, appreciate a little hard work. Huh? Yeah. Anyways, what's a good way to end it, huh? You know? Um, let's give, like, a nice shot of some trees, yeah. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Yeah, look at that, look at those trees. Yeah, look at those weird blue glowing trees. Alright, I quit. Goodbye. I hope you liked it. Didn't then, well.